Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, good morning, students. I'm Mr. Abraham. I'm back to teach you today about narrative text. Before we study, I am going to share the screen. Let me share it first. Okay. Okay, let me adjust the view first. Right. So our today's lesson is about narrative text. Narrative text is taught in Merdeka Curriculum of State Vocational High School Wanskayu. Narrative text is an imaginary story to entertain people. So if you are asked what narrative text is, so narrative text is an imaginative story to entertain people. Jadi kalau ditanya, apa sih yang dimaksud dengan naratif teks? Jadi naratif teks di sini berfungsi sebagai sebuah cerita imajinasi yang bertujuan untuk entertain people atau menghibur orang. Nah, talking about the social function of narrative text, it has the function to amuse or entertain the reader or the listener. So I repeat again, the social function of narrative text is to amuse or entertain the readers. That's what we call the social function of the narrative text. Now we continue to the next slide. Okay. The next slide is talking about structures of narrative text. Jadi pada slide berikutnya kita bicara tentang struktur daripada teks naratif. What are the structures of narrative text? So the structures of narrative text consist of orientation, complication, resolution, coda, or reorientation. So in conclusion here, there are 4 structures of narrative text. Jadi kesimpulannya ada 4 macam struktur daripada teks naratif itu sendiri. Pertama, orientasi, kemudian beralih ke komplikasi, kemudian dari komplikasi menjadi resolusi, dan terakhir dari resolusi itu turunannya menjadi koda atau reorientasi. Oke. We move to the next slide. Kita pindah ke slide berikutnya. And then, what are the characteristics of narrative text? Okay, the characteristic of narrative text. First, using past simple tense. Okay, I repeat again, the first characteristic of narrative text using past simple tense. Jadi dia menggunakan pola kalimat past tense atau pola kalimat lampau. Itu karakteristik yang pertama. Kenapa menggunakan past tense? Ya, jelas karena naratif teks ini menceritakan tentang kejadian-kejadian atau peristiwa atau cerita yang terjadi di masa lampau. And then the second characteristic of narrative text, using adverbs of times. Okay, using adverb of time such as once upon a time, one day, long time ago, etc. Jadi karakteristik yang kedua daripada sebuah teks naratif itu dia menggunakan keterangan waktu atau adverb of time seperti once upon a time, pada zaman dahulu kala, one day, suatu hari, long time ago, okay, di masa dulu, dan lain-lain. And the next, the third characteristic of narrative text, using direct and indirect speech. Nah, jadi karakteristik yang ketiga dari sebuah teks naratif ini, dia menggunakan pola atau bentuk kalimat langsung dan kalimat tidak langsung. Apa kalimat maksudnya? Kalimat yang langsung berarti maksudnya kalimat yang dikutip langsung dari pembicaraan tanpa ada perubahan. Sedangkan indirect speech ini adalah kalimat yang dikutip dari penutur tapi kalimatnya dirubah pola atau bentuk dengan tidak merubah makna. And the next, the characteristic of the narrative text in the last one is using direct and indirect speech. Okay, I give you some examples of direct and indirect speech here. Direct speech, for example, Snow White said, comma, in brackets, I'm so sad. Hey, that's what we call direct speech. What about indirect speech? Bagaimana contoh kalimat tidak langsung? Nah, jadi contoh dari kalimat tidak langsung ini sebenarnya sama seperti pada kalimat langsung direct speech. Cuma dia merubah bentuk kalimat, tapi makna tidak berubah. Contoh, Snow White said that she was sad. Okay. So these are the example of direct speech and indirect speech in the narrative text. We move to the next slide. Now, everybody, look at this. Okay, look at this. Look at the pictures below. Do you know who or where they are discussed with your friend? Look at here. This is a stone of Malin Kundang. And this one. This is what we call the Rumah Gadang. So Rumah Gadang is a kind of traditional house in West Sumatra, Indonesia. And look at this. This is maybe pictures of Malin Kundang, and also this is his wife, and this is his mother. Okay, so from this description, we will discuss an examples of narrative text entitled The Legend of Malin Kundang from West Sumatra. Right. Now look at the instruction first before we discuss this. Read the following text and then answer the following question. Baca teks berikut ini, kemudian jawab pertanyaan setelahnya. Okay. The title of the text, The Legend of Malin Kundang. Okay. Let me read the text for you first. A long time ago, in a small village near the beach in West Sumatra, lived a woman and her son, Malin Kundang. Malin Kundang and his mother had to live hard because his father had passed away when he was a baby. Malin Kundang was a healthy, diligent, and strong boy. He usually went to sea to catch fish. After getting the fish, he would bring it to his mother or sell the caught fish in the town. The next paragraph. One day, Malin Kundang was sailing. He saw a merchant ship being raided by a band of pirates. With his bravery, Malin Kundang helped the merchant defeat the pirates. To thank him, the merchant allowed Malin Kundang to sail with him. Malin Kundang agreed in the hope to get a better life. He left his mother alone. Okay, the third paragraph. Many years later, Malin Kundang became a wealthy. He had a huge ship and a lot of crews who worked loading trading goods. He was also married to a beautiful woman. When he was sailing on his trading journey, his ship landed on a coast near a small village. The local people recognized that it was Malin Kundang, a boy from the area. The news ran fast in the town. Malin Kundang has become rich and now he is here. Okay, we move to the last paragraph. An old woman who was Malin Kundang's mother ran to the beach to meet the new rich merchant. She wanted to hug him to release her sadness of being lonely after a long time. When his mother came near him, Malin Kundang, who was with his beautiful wife and his ship crews, denied that she was his mother. She had pleaded Malin Kundang to look at her and admit that she was her mother. But he kept refusing to do it and yelling at her. At last, Malin Kundang said to her, "Enough, old woman. I have never had a mother like you, a dirty and ugly woman." After that, he ordered his crews she set sail to leave the old woman, who was then full of sadness and anger. Finally, feeling enraged, she cursed Malin Kundang that he would turn into a stone if he didn't apologize to her. Malin Kundang just laughed and set sail. Suddenly, a thunderstorm came in the quiet sea, wrecking his huge ship. He was thrown out to a small island. It was really too late for him to avoid his curse. He had turned into a stone. Nah, baiklah anak-anak, itulah contoh daripada sebuah naratif teks yang kita ambil dari cerita rakyat Sumatera Barat berjudul The Legend of Malin Kundang. Bapak bantu menerjemahkan paragraf pertama untuk kalian. Nanti kalian lanjutkan menerjemahkan kalimat kedua sampai kalimat terakhir. Nah, seperti yang dikatakan tadi bahwa karakteristik daripada sebuah naratif teks itu dia menggunakan adverb of time seperti a long time ago. Nah, jelas sekali di sini di awal paragraf sebuah naratif teks berjudul The Legend of Malin Kundang, dia menggunakan adverb of time long time ago. Ini contohnya. A long time ago in a small village. Jadi pada dahulu kala katanya in a small village. Jadi di sebuah desa kecil near the beach, dekat pantai in West Sumatra lived a woman and her son. Jadi pada zaman dahulu kala atau pada dahulu kala di sebuah desa kecil dekat pantai Sumatera Barat tinggallah seorang wanita bersama anak laki-lakinya, Malin Kundang. Malin Kundang and his mother had to live hard. Jadi Malin Kundang dan ibunya harus hidup susah because his father had passed away when he was a baby. Dikarenakan ayahnya sudah tiada sejak dia masih bayi. Malin Kundang was a healthy, diligent, and strong boy. Jadi Malin Kundang itu karakternya orang yang sehat, rajin, dan kuat. He usually went to sea to catch fish. Ya, biasanya katanya pergi ke laut untuk menangkap ikan. After getting fish, he would bring it to his mother. Jadi setelah dia mendapatkan ikan, dia akan membawa ikan-ikan tersebut kepada ibunya, or sell the caught fish in the town, atau menjual hasil tangkapannya ke kota. Nah, itu Bapak bantu menerjemahkan paragraf pertama. Untuk paragraf kedua, paragraf ketiga, paragraf keempat, silakan kalian mencari sendiri, menerjemahkan sendiri, boleh menggunakan kamus, atau boleh juga menggunakan bantuan Google Translate. Nah, sekarang kita langsung menuju kepada comprehension question. Pertanyaan pemahaman. Oke, Bapak bantu mengerjakan soal nomor 1 dan nomor 2. Kita ke nomor 1 dulu. Why did Malin Kundang and his mother have to live hard? Nah, jadi pertanyaan ini adalah pertanyaan yang berkaitan dengan cause and effect. Pertanyaan yang sebab akibat menggunakan question words why, mengapa. Nanti pada saat dijawab kalian jangan lupa awali jawaban dengan kata because, karena. Why did Malin Kundang and his mother have to live hard? Maksudnya itu kenapa Malin Kundang bersama ibunya harus hidup susah. Nah, mengapa dia tuh harus hidup susah? Nah, kita melirik ke naratif teks tadi, bisa kita lihat pada paragraf pertama. Paragraf pertama sebuah naratif teks berjudul The Legend of Malin Kundang. Paragraf pertama, baris kedua dan baris ketiga, mulai dari baris kedua, baris ketiga, dan baris keempat. Nah, di sini kita bisa menemukan jawaban dari pertanyaan yang berbunyi, yaitu why did Malin Kundang and his mother have to live hard? Mengapa Malin Kundang dan ibunya harus hidup susah? Nah, jadi di sini kita temukan di paragraf pertama jawabannya, baris kedua, baris ketiga, dan baris keempat. Nah, di sini dikatakan Malin Kundang and his mother had to live hard because his father had passed away when he was a baby. Nah, dikatakan di sini Malin Kundang beserta ibunya harus hidup susah dikarenakan ayahnya sudah meninggal sejak dia masih bayi. Nah, itu jawaban untuk pertanyaan nomor 1 yang menanyakan why did Malin Kundang and his mother have to live hard. Oke, kita beralih ke pertanyaan nomor 2. Give an example that Malin Kundang was a healthy, diligent, and strong boy. Apa maksud kalimat ini? Kalimat ini adalah kalimat yang sifatnya instruksi, berikan contoh katanya. Berikan contoh. That's Malin Kundang, bahwa Malin Kundang was a healthy, adalah seorang anak yang sehat, diligent, rajin, and strong boy, dan juga anak yang kuat. Kita kembali ke teks di atas. Nah, jawabannya kali ini kita bisa kembali membaca atau memahami paragraf pertama. Nah, di paragraf pertama, baris keempat ini ada kalimat berbunyi, Malin Kundang was a healthy, diligent, and strong boy. Kemudian lanjutannya di baris kelima, line 5 of the first paragraph, he usually went to sea to catch fish. After getting fish, he would bring it to his mother or sell the caught fish in the town. Nah, kalau kita kembali merujuk ke pertanyaan nomor 2 tadi, dia kan minta contoh. Give an example that Malin Kundang was a healthy, diligent, and strong boy. Nah, ini bisa dijadikan jawaban. Masih di paragraf pertama. Kita ambil saja kalimat yang ada di baris ke-5 dan baris ke-6. Jadi ini bisa kita jadikan jawaban untuk pertanyaan nomor 2 tadi. He usually went to sea to catch fish. After getting fish, he would bring it to his mother or sell the caught fish in the town. Oke, baiklah anak-anak. Bapak hanya membantu mengerjakan nomor 1 dan nomor 2. Nanti untuk selanjutnya nomor 3, pertanyaan nomor 3, how did the merchant allow Malin Kundang to join him in the sale? Sampai pertanyaan nomor 10 atau yang terakhir, what is the moral of the story? Nah, kalian lanjutkan, kerjakan di buku tugas atau di buku latihan. Nanti Bapak periksa, Bapak koreksi nilainya, jawabannya maksudnya, dan nilainya akan dimasukkan dalam daftar nilai portofolio Bahasa Inggris Kurikulum Merdeka 2023. Selamat mengerjakan tugas, mengerjakan comprehension question. Untuk soal nomor 1 dan nomor 2 tidak usah dibuat karena sudah Bapak jawab tadi, jadi kalian kerjakan saja pertanyaan nomor 3 sampai dengan nomor 10. Jadi ada 8 pertanyaan yang harus kalian selesaikan. Jadi saya ulangi kembali, pertanyaan nomor 1 dan nomor 2 tidak perlu dikerjakan karena sudah kita bahas, sudah kita jawab. Oke. Baiklah anak-anak, selamat mengerjakan tugas. Kita jumpa lagi pada pertemuan berikutnya dengan materi yang beda, topik yang beda. Bapak akhiri dengan wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you in the next video, guys. Bye, everybody.